Okay, in this tutorial, I'm going to explain to you how you get out of a loop in the middle of the loop if a specific thing happens, right? In your early programming days, I would say that you should try to avoid this at all costs. You should try to get out of a loop based on the condition. Let's say, though, that there's a special case that happens in your loop and you just want to end that loop right then and drop to the bottom of that loop. So let's say you had let's create a for loop. It's quick, right? And I equals 1, I is less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, right? And I'm in my loop doing stuff, right? Maybe I'm printing stuff out. Let's print out I, right? Plus I. And then for some reason in my loop, I do some condition, again, this doesn't make sense to test I, but possibly we're doing some other check in our loop. So I'm going to say if I, right, equals 5, I want something special to happen right here, right? I want to, I'm going to sys out, right? Special event, right? Loop stopping, right? And I want my loop to stop. Okay, now you're saying, well, why didn't I just go to less than or equal to 5, right? Okay, again, this is a special case in your loop, something happened, you want the loop to end, and you want to drop right down to the bottom of the loop, which is here, right? So this is the end of my for loop, right? And I can, right, sys out and loop ended, right? So if I just run the code like this, it's going to go from 1 to 10. When it hits 5, it's going to do this, but the loop isn't going to stop because I didn't stop it, right? So if I ran this code, right, I hit my special event, loop stopping, but it kept going. Now, how do I end my loop to get out of the loop, but I don't want to end the whole program, right? The way you do that is with a break statement. A break is going to drop you immediately down to the end of your loop, whether it's a for loop, a while loop, a do while, and it's going to start with the line right after the end of the loop. So let's do this. So right here, I ran it 1 to 5, loop stopping, and then it ended. So a break takes you to the end of the loop. Now, some people are like, well, why don't I just set I, right, to be 11? Ooh, that'll work, or 10 even, right? Because if I is 10, then it's going to come down to the end of the loop. It's going to increment it to 11. It's not going to draw that, right? And I'm going to run this and do this. Typically, it's a bad idea to mess with the index in the loop because as your programs grow in size, people might miss this case. Whereas if you use a break, everybody knows what that means immediately. It means I want to get out of my loop and come down here. So try your hardest to not mess with the values of the index, because up here people are going to see in your loop you're incrementing by 1, right? So they're going to know it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and then in the middle of the loop you're going to say, I equals 97. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense to people. So if you want to get out of the loop immediately, just use the break function. But again, I strongly recommend you to play with your condition, whether it's in a for loop, a while loop, or a do while, to get out of your loop gracefully without using break statements.